Elephants, more than giants. When we picture elephants, we think of something massive: giant ears, towering legs, a trunk that seems to have a mind of its own. But behind their size is something far more extraordinary: intelligence, emotion, memory, and deep social bonds. Elephants aren't just the largest land animals alive today. They're some of the most emotionally and intellectually complex creatures on the planet. Let's explore why elephants are more than giants. Most people don't realize that an elephant's brain is one of the largest in the animal kingdom, over 5 kilograms. But it's not just size that matters. The structure of their brain, especially the neocortex and hippocampus, is highly developed. This allows for advanced memory, problem-solving, learning, and emotional processing. They recognize themselves in mirrors, a test only a few species have ever passed. They can remember watering holes from decades ago, and they can distinguish the voices of different humans and elephants over long distances. In short, elephants know who they are, and they know who you are too. Their social life is just as impressive. Elephants live in matriarchal herds led by the oldest female. She's not just a leader, she's a living archive. She remembers migration routes, danger zones, and social connections. Within the herd, elephants communicate constantly, through vocalizations, touch, body language, and something else that's almost sci-fi: infrasound. These are sounds below the range of human hearing, used to send messages across several kilometers. They can talk without making a sound we can hear. And when an elephant is injured or gives birth, the entire herd reacts. They surround, support, defend, and care. It's not instinct, it's empathy. One of the most haunting aspects of elephant behavior is how they respond to death. When an elephant dies, the herd slows down. They approach the body, they touch it with their trunks. Sometimes they stay for hours or days. And in some cases, they return year after year just to visit the bones. They've been observed gently caressing skulls and tusks. They mourn. They grieve. They remember. And that's not just poetic, it's scientific. Researchers have recorded dozens of these rituals across continents and species. Elephants don't forget, especially when it comes to loss. Now let's talk about that trunk, because it's one of the most versatile tools in nature. The elephant's trunk is a fusion of its nose and upper lip. It has over 40,000 muscles. Compare that to the 600 muscles in the entire human body. It can lift logs and also pick up a single blade of grass. It can smell water from 12 miles away. It can trumpet in joy, warn of danger, or whisper a low-frequency hum across the savanna. It can spray water, mud, dust, and even food. And yes, elephants can use their trunk to paint, solve puzzles, or even steal bananas when no one's looking. It's a multi-tool, a sensory device, and a language instrument all in one. Despite all this brilliance, elephants face enormous threats. Tens of thousands are killed every year for their ivory tusks. Some are taken for tourism, kept in captivity, or forced to perform. Others are displaced by habitat loss as forests are cleared and land disappears. Elephants are intelligent enough to understand what's happening. And some have been seen reacting to human cruelty with aggression or fear. But they're also capable of forgiveness, of rebuilding trust. In sanctuaries, rescued elephants that have suffered years of abuse often begin to reconnect with other elephants and even with humans. There are 3 living species of elephant today. African savanna elephants, the largest, with huge ears and long tusks. African forest elephants, smaller, more secretive, and only recently recognized as a separate species. Asian elephants, smaller ears, more rounded backs, and closer relationships with humans throughout history. Each has unique behaviors, diets, and threats, but they share intelligence, empathy, and the same vulnerable future. Now let's take a second to appreciate how smart elephants really are. They've been seen using tools, breaking branches to swat flies or digging holes and plugging them with bark to store water. Some even cover themselves with mud and leaves to stay cool or rub medicinal plants on their wounds. In captivity, elephants have been observed unlocking gates, planning escapes, and working together to solve challenges. In one famous experiment, 2 elephants had to pull ropes at the same time to bring food closer. Not only did they figure it out, they waited for each other and adjusted their timing. That's not instinct. That's cooperation and patience. Their emotional world goes even deeper. Elephants show joy, fear, jealousy, rage, and compassion. When separated from family, they cry and show signs of depression. When reunited, they celebrate with trumpeting and physical closeness. Young elephants learn by observing older ones. Mothers stay close to their calves for years. And in some herds, elephants have been seen rescuing trapped antelope or other animals, showing compassion beyond their own kind. They're not just smart, they're deeply feeling, social beings. In many cultures, elephants are symbols of wisdom, strength, and memory. In Hindu tradition, the god Ganesha represents knowledge and the removal of obstacles. In Africa, elephants are seen as keepers of ancestral wisdom. And in Thailand, white elephants are sacred, symbolizing peace and power. Even in the West, the phrase, "an elephant never forgets," captures something real, their ability to store and recall knowledge over decades. And maybe that's the greatest tragedy, that an animal with this much beauty, intelligence, and emotional depth is still endangered. The good news? People around the world are fighting to protect them. Reserves, sanctuaries, and wildlife corridors are helping. More countries are banning ivory trade. More people are learning the truth behind elephant tourism, because when you look into an elephant's eye, you see more than an animal. You see a presence, a mind, a soul, a being who understands. So next time you hear someone say it's just an elephant, remember, they're not just giants. They're guardians of memory, empaths in gray, and some of the most incredible creatures we share this planet with. They don't just take up space, they leave a legacy.